I'm Chase.
And I'm Timothy.
And this is Customer Service.
All right, and we're back with another food review. How we doing, Uncle Brondo?
It's like it's something that clearly is in your brain. Like
It's so deep.
It's there always.
You've
done that impression
years.
daily for years, I would say.
Years, dude. Years. And, I recently popped on the channel with Mishan to watch something the other day, and I'm happy to report he's just as
on
same,
his channel.
Same fella. Yeah.
I thought you were saying that you popped on our channel to watch us with Michelle. I'm like, you guys do that? That's
No, heavens,
weird.
No, just a review bra. Back with another food review. He rules, man.
Mm-hmm. He's your Jesus.
Yeah, dude. How we doing? Hey, I got something I want to talk about right off the rip because you had sent me something over the weekend. I said I would listen to it, and I never circled back with you. That Whir record.
Oh, yeah.
Was it brand new, Timothy?
I'd seen people posting about it like a few weeks ago or maybe a month ago, but it wasn't anywhere. I don't know where they were getting it.
No, you're right, because you had said, "Hey, isn't there a new Whir record?" And, but yeah, so it looks like it came out on Christmas last year.
Yeah, that's when I saw someone
recently
posting about it.
Yeah,
but I couldn't find it anywhere. Like it just came up on Spotify for me at least.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's been there.
I'm happy to say, Michelle and I, again, we both listened to it through the sound bar, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" I just remembered. Let's listen to it. It's good, dude.
I don't know what they're doing
really
with those guitars.
good.
I mean, it's some sort of tremolo, but that whoom, whoom, whoom thing it's always doing is so sick.
And there's a couple tunes, one song at the end.
There's a couple of them. If you've like had a little weed or something, you're feeling like all over the place.
Yeah,
it's really like it's hypnotic.
Here, let me pull up the record. I want to see the track list. I want to say it's Days I Want to Fade Away and All Mine. Those two tunes.
Yeah.
There's one that has like a punk beat at the end of it.
Yeah.
That is really like anomalous to the rest of the record that I thought
there was one
banging.
Song I kept going back to. I'm so bad with song titles, so I'm not going to have it. And then I listened to it probably twice while like painting and doing stuff around the house, and it was like it is good. It's a really and to be like when was their last record before that? Like
they put out
right?
something in 2019 if I remember correctly.
Okay,
it was
that
like
kind of sounds right.
What was it called? It was like
Did
called
that
Kind of
suck?
Like You or something. No, it was good. We used to listen to it in the store. Feels Like You was 2019, and then they put out before that was the record that we all know, Sway, which I think is just front to back perfect.
Sure, I might just also be kind of forgetting. Yeah, see, this is fun. What I know Feels Like You, kinda. Mm-hmm. I know Sway and I know Distressor. I know those two albums.
Well, yeah, Distressor has Blue. Do you know that?
Yeah.
That it was when they still had Girl Singer.
Yep.
Absolute yammer. And but the record's really good.
They're internet troll. They were like early internet trolls.
They
basically.
were known.
You know what I mean?
Like
they were little
for being
shitheads.
shitty on the internet and purposely trying to get a rise out of people. And I had said they played Cleveland and got banned from Cleveland because they would play so loud. They fucked up the power for a whole square block.
I saw
on
them.
West Side.
It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't distinguish different notes though.
Yeah.
If I'm being 100% honest with you, like as soon as when he was just sound testing, I was like, this is a mistake, long term for me. But at least I'll have said I saw them. But it's like unholy loud. Like I was up close and I walked back, and I've been to I've done this a long time. It's loud as shit.
Are you a earplugs guy at a show?
No.
For that, I would have.
No, there are certain things, buddy, that I will not cross the line on.
Yeah.
And that's one of them. The other thing is over-the-ear headphones in public for me. Absolutely not.
Oh, I dig it.
I'm not a cartoon character from like the 90s. I'm not going to put on over-the-ear headphones in public. Is crazy to me.
Anybody?
Like girls working out with those fucking that's insane. First of all, I can tell you're not working out that hard because those fall off easy. Like you just sometimes
the AirPod Pros or whatever.
You go to like bend over with those things on your head, they'll drop off your head if you go down too fast. So.
No, what are they called? What are those things called?
I don't know. Who cares? It's all the same shit.
Air Max. The Air Max Pro. Anybody out there has a pair of Air Max Pros you don't want? Send them to me. Hit me up and
What do you think this is?
I'll tell you what, buddy. We've gotten some.
You're
gifts,
the podcast
treats.
equivalent of a Goodwill. You're just assuming that people are gonna give you stuff because you exist.
You got an AirPod Max that you're not using? Send them over. I'll give you $100.
Uncle Chase is looking for an AirPad Max. So if you want to
give me an
AirPad
Max. So
AirPad is That's dumbass uncle being like, I just got me one of them new AirPads. Came free when I bought an Acura. It's just that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I will never wear, even though I got accused twice last week of wearing a driving cap, which is insane.
A Patrick Stump hat, a full up boy hat.
I would never do that, ever. Long dead before I put one of those on my head.
Yeah.
And let's see, what are other non-negotiables? Any sort of smartwatch. I mean, obviously, I'm referring to Apple Watch. Never will go down past that. But, like, absolutely, I would never put one on those. What is anybody out there doing? My wife wears one. What is anyone doing athletically that you need to track that information? You know what I mean? Like, nothing you're doing needs to get tracked,
buddy,
dude.
You're speaking my language now of, like, all right. Tell me what you do with that information.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell me the decision you make differently the next day
makes you feel
when you have
good,
the information.
You know we don't care. It's just that's a line I'm not going to cross.
No. And it's like I'm all for trying to do things to make yourself healthier. I just think the answer is not technology.
The first time that thing told me to go to bed or like to calm down or something, I would throw it into the street. I'd hawk it 3 blocks over, dude.
Yeah.
There's no way.
No, I just think it's silly. I think it's like, again, I'm not doing this long diatribe. I had my long diatribe about Apple Watches and technology and being sold to you because you're trying to be healthier. If you want to be healthier, you should do that. I would recommend eating better and getting more sleep and making more healthy choices.
We're not going down this road. We're not going down this road. You've been sick forever. We're not going down this road.
Well, hey.
That OJ did not solve anything for you. So we're not going to go down this road. That being said, wearable tech is insane, but I think it's kind of like, look, most guitar pedals and shit that I buy are insane and asinine. Like, if it makes you do the thing you like doing more, I think you should do it. I think it's great. Yeah. It's just a personal boundary for me.
Agreed. Cole, you don't have a mic today. Or rather, Jamie, as Drew keeps calling you, because Jamie, you had told me a story
podcast.
From the Seth Rogen podcast. Little people don't know this, but they are cousins. So,
what if we got that rumor going enough that it was like on TMZ or something?
Seth, he comes in smoking his weed with his little fucking houseplant binger, and he's like, "You guys gotta stop telling people I'm related to Joe."
You're imagining a scenario where he comes into our room
with a
smoking a binger and yells at us while we're podcasting, presumably.
And then does that scream laugh that he does. Cool. Now that you've got a mic hooked up, I was curious about something. You had said the other day, you heard a story of a lady who somebody had said, you got to drink more orange juice, this and that. So she drank so much orange juice over 10 years, she gave herself diabetes or something, right?
Yeah. Wait. So my dad does a lot of like nutrition shit. And this woman was vitamin C deficient. Mm-hmm. And then she was like, oh, like what has a lot of vitamin C? Oh, like Florida natural orange juice. Mm-hmm. And she was drinking like a gallon a day and then got type 2 diabetes, which is horrible. But yeah. So that
Chase's cousin.
No, it's like ingrained in my mind where I'm like, okay, like you got to stay away from it, even though it's incredible.
Yeah.
Like fresh squeeze is the best thing in the world.
Listen, I'm not saying that orange juice isn't great. It's good. And I think it is like a good source of vitamin C, obviously. But it's also an incredible source of sugar, which is like not good in big quantities.
Yeah. But and listen, this is coming from the layman. I'd argue, and I would argue this staunchly, there is no limit to how much fruit you can eat. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I know I think you've said something, but people say shit like, you don't have too much fruit because all that sugar in it. It's like, well, show me the person who's unhealthy from having too much watermelon. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, you take it to an extreme. You take it to an extreme, yes. So somebody out there is like, why? But what I'm saying is,
if you're doing nothing else, sure. You know what I mean? But like, you can be getting that same thing from eating too much bread and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, yes, if that was all you were, if everything you were eating was fresh, you're probably not gonna go over the limit on that stuff.
No,
you know what I
mean? And I'd love because and I've read about like fruitarian diets. I don't think that's the move because there definitely is things you're not going to be able to
wrong,
get.
Yeah.
But
who's living that way?
Well,
I mean? Like,
not in the U.S., man. Maybe in like more Eastern Asian countries, where
they're eating only fruit.
In that book that I've read about, or that I still need to finish.
Are you thinking
about
monkeys?
The commercialization of fruit? No. They talk about different cultures of like people who eat like durian for nearly everything. And you know what I'm saying?
That's a cheat code though, because nobody that we know is eating durian.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not feasible here.
That's barely a fruit at a certain
point. And keep in mind, like in certain areas of Eastern Asia, it's just it's omnipresent. That's where all exotic fruits and shit come from. You know what I mean? So
sure.
Anyway, I'm in the camp of just speaking of health and shit. It's like eat as much fucking fruit as you can possibly put in your body and you'll be fine. Obviously, when it's something processed like a juice or something, it's not. It's a product. So
why don't you just do everything in moderation and then we don't have to have any conversations? Do you know what I mean?
I also think that's good.
Just do that. Just do that, and then we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'll still talk about it.
You got any Grammys hot takes right off the bat? I didn't watch most of it. It sucks.
No, I don't care about that shit, man. Like you said
No
the other
music
day, it's
I
a bunch
like.
of musicians that I've never heard of.
Well, I love Charlie XCX. That's different. But she only like recently got famous because all you dipshits just suddenly thought she's the best. Dog shit. She's been the best for eons. This has been going on a million years. I have in my mind, I have Charlie XCX bootlegs that I'm gonna send Gia through college for.
Really?
Yeah, because I got a bunch of them. I only got 2 really solid ones.
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel, and these are like old. These are like Bangs era and before. So
yeah.
I'm good. So other than that, who gives a shit?
I don't care about the Grammys, man, because it's a bunch of people that I've never heard of, and it's like good that they're getting
I don't
recognition
get it, dude.
and awards and shit, but it's like I literally never even heard this name.
It's like a place for like the industry to pat itself on the back. And listen, I like the Oscars and all that shit, which I know some of that is that too. But like, I don't need to see someone pat fucking Kendrick Lamar on the back or any of this other dumb shit where who's the other? The Weeknd feels like he gets awards at the Grammys, and you're like, for what, dude? For what? You know what I mean? Like, the money is the reward, guy. Like, you don't need an award ceremony about this. This should be for new upcoming artists. There's that one, I don't know her name, that one artist that has the cool, sexy song, and she had all the Tom Brown on. I don't know what her name is.
No clue.
None of these are artists I know who they are. They're like, I don't know. And then we're like, well, we're congratulating. Why is Jay-Z there? Isn't he under investigation right now? You know what I mean? Like, what is this? Like, it's just so silly.
I just don't, listen, man.
Host wasn't funny.
I don't listen to a bunch of new music. I'm not whatever. I don't really care.
It also just isn't representative of what I think pop music is, in all honesty. It's like it's like the richest musicians are there and that's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's a representation at all. At least like with the Oscars, occasionally you're getting like a first-time director up there. And it's not to say that they weren't well-funded, yada, 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 or have some pedigree. But like, you at least see some people that like you're like, oh, that's unexpected, or they're new. They didn't just get this because they're super wealthy. But like the Grammys feels insane at this point.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Like I said,
it's
Tom
not
Brown
for me, and that's fine.
That was cool.
Yeah,
she looked great. Whole outfits were great. Dance was great. But I don't know. I don't even know the song. I mean, I've heard the song on the radio like one time, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's kind of interesting, But all I'm saying is I like pop music, and it's not my cup of tea.
You actively consume new music intentionally, with intention.
Within reason.
Yeah.
I'm selective still. You know what I mean?
But like, I don't know, man. It just feels like, all right, well, here's a bunch of music that like nobody really cares about, but because it's maybe on the radio or something.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, I think that it is a weird thing where you're right in this scenario where I don't know who cares about this stuff. Do you know what I mean? I know that like Taylor Swift has a huge community and Beyonce obviously has a huge community, but like it's got to be wavering a little at this point. You know what I mean?
Who cares?
It's like
dude?
she's just been doing it for so long. You're like at a certain point.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like how do you keep it doesn't feel super creative any longer. And like it should I don't know. I really don't care about major musicians other than people that like are deservedly there. No, I guess that's to say like Beyonce
was Future at the Grammys? Because if Future wasn't at the Grammys, then that shit doesn't matter.
Well, I don't know. It seems like a place he would go, but I don't think he was being awarded anything, obviously.
Well, that's silly, so.
But this is what I mean, though. It's like, I don't know. There's like 2 different versions of pop music in my mind. And I think Future, quite frankly, is pop music. People are going to argue it's hip-hop or rap or whatever. And I'm like, maybe. But those are meant to be hits, and that's widely consumed music.
Well, yeah. At this point, when you say pop, I'm not even necessarily considering pop the sound. I'm considering
the cultural
like
zeitgeist.
the
it has nothing to do.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with
like,
music any longer.
What was pop in 2014 versus pop in 2025? I would argue like all the shit that we like, Gunna, Young Thug, like Atlanta hip hop, Chicago hip hop, etc. It all kind of falls under quote unquote pop to an extent.
No one knows what to do with any of this music anymore. Like half of it's country. You know what I mean? Honestly, like half of pop music is just country music.
There's a lot of big dudes with face tattoos singing and shit lately. So what's going on with that?
So many.
When did this happen?
And that's the thing. Like you're telling me this is what you middle of America is supporting these fellas as country music. It's like these guys, they're just singing with an accent. They don't an accent they don't speak in. It's crazy. You know what I mean? And everyone can kind of like do that, put on that little Southern bullshit, and you can. And I don't care. That's fine. You know what I mean? The same way that like why are British brands always doing English accents? You know what I'm saying? And then why the opposite? Why are we? You know?
Yeah. So, bring back Crass. I want to hear Crass.
Yeah, get Crass at the Grammys.
That actually, you know what? That's a Grammys cool. I would watch. Yeah, bring Crass.
I can't imagine what their vibe is today.
I just remember growing up when I got into music and hardcore and punk music, this and that. And I remember being like, "That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life." Like, there's nothing more offensive to me than Crass.
I understand its position in the zeitgeist.
I take it back. Nothing more offensive than Crass, unless we're taking into account ska as a whole genre, and then that takes the cake.
See, I don't really care about. Well, I think we've talked about this maybe before. I don't really care. I don't have any sort of hard opinion on different genres like that, because I think that in any version, you're like, I'm not going to categorize any one version as being bad, any full category, because it's just not true. There are good ska bands. There's bands that like we're doing something different and doing something, and like it's not supposed to be taken seriously. It's kind of like it's the Star Wars conversation again. It's like it's not for me.
Yeah,
it was never for me. Do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't supposed to be targeted at me. It doesn't mean it's bad. Yeah. It's just not. I don't understand why adults are dissecting it. Yeah. That's my whole problem with it. It's the same thing as like. It's not for me. It's for like a very particular group of people. Yeah. And I think that it takes talent to write anything. And there's a certain cadence that you have to write. And that's also a very like hard niche to break in, like, cause it's got a connotation to it.
Yeah.
I think it could probably be done correctly if you've got the right people, and then it'll get adjusted at some point, and then it might be re-interesting. Yeah. Same thing with country music. I'm not like overall a country fan, but I know there's certain stalwarts that I respect that were like genre definers, and I think there's new people that are doing like interesting things with that. Well, I think
I like stuff now that is inspired by country. I think Pine Grove, even that record Cardinal was country inspired. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Some of these new Alex G tunes that he's putting out, like the full length project, not his scores and stuff that he's doing for movies and shit, but like a lot of that is influenced by country music. You know what I mean? Like that tune Bobby from Rocket, I think was the record. It's country as fuck and it's cool. But no, we have a buddy who I always never know if I can say his name, so I won't say his name. But he had some buddies in college who were like old hardcore kids. One of them. Anyway, he said, "Yeah, you know, like ska. Like they both got really into ska at the end of college, and they were like skanking. I think they were pretty good at it.
I think they were pretty good at it. That's so funny.
Yeah. So that stuck with me. I was like, yeah, man. You know, they may have been good at skanking. You're right.
Who knows? They might have been. I mean, it's like I just like music and appreciate music, and I think that like within any version of things, you can find things you like if you're like good at looking for it or interested in looking for it.
Yeah.
But pop music at this point, I don't know what the hell we're calling that. I mean, I think for a long time, hip hop was pop music. And then that seems to have faded a little bit into country, and now country is pop music. And then something else, I mean, EDM has had its fair run throughout this thing. I mean, even if you look at like Charlie XX started as a pop project. It was, bordered on hyper pop, I would say. So a little bit more specific, definitely like clubby. That was the influences it had. But she's also from the UK. It's like a different...
I wouldn't have known she was from the UK.
It's a different thing, you know what I'm saying? And then I would say there's immense amounts of EDM mixed into there, and like, you know, DJ club culture, stuff like that. So it's like it's its own thing that I don't know how you define. You know what I mean? It's just whatever I think the culture digests as a whole and says, you know, this is what it is because it's easier.
Yeah.
You know, it's smooth brain shit, dude. It's just like and I'm fine with that. I think, you know, at the right level, because I think it's like difficult. We talk about this when we define like success of our business, you know, of like how are you considering success? Because it can be a million different things. You can say that like we're the best store because X, Y, and Z reason. Like we have the most niche product. These are brands you've never heard of. It's the most curated, the most considered, and that can be the best to you. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's what's best. And you could also say, well, then just pick whoever's the biggest. They're the best. They're doing the most volume. You could also argue it's a different thing. It's just a business. It doesn't have any soul. It's just a business. They chalk out as much stuff as humanly possible, and the bottom line determines all decisions they make. But some people would consider that the best so it's like, how are you defining a culture, a category of music, a style of music, I don't think any of those artists would probably want to even be defined as any of those things. Like you've seen when we've talked to musicians, no one wants to talk about what category they're in. You know what I mean? Because they don't want it to be. It should just be an expression of all of their interests. In the same way that, like, that's how I think about this. Was like, I think there's an in between, though, is the God's honest truth. How can you take something super niche? Like, let's say, it's kind of like the turnstile argument of like, well, how the hell else were you going to take hardcore music and like its ideology and its like general stylings and get that to be popular? Because that is a very difficult thing to understand unless you were a part of the culture or you were part of the scene or you just really resonated with that type of aggressive music. How else could you get that to be more widely accepted? But the only way that genre as a whole is going to get more listeners or new listeners especially is for somebody to change it up enough that it gets more widely accepted. They aesthetically change what it is and they sonically change what it is. And then it gets more and more accepted. And you're like, well, I'd argue they might be doing it the best because they've brought up everything and they've brought something that was basically dead to being listened to again. And that like what it will do long term is the important thing. Who cares about that band? It's kind of like any really ultra famous band. Who cares? You know what I mean? That's the reality. At a certain point, all they're doing is trailblazing and creating a bridge for all these other kids to walk over. You know what I mean? And I think that's why like I care so much about Charlie XCX is because what she's doing for specific cultures of music, for LGBTQ plus, blah, 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 all that stuff. Everything that she's doing positive for like club culture and all this like important stuff that especially is important in the UK is she's laying down a bridge of being like, listen, how many people are listening to this type of, I mean, that is a pretty assaulting record, quite frankly, Brat. That is an assaulting, difficult record, quite frankly, for pop music.
Yeah.
Not for what she's been doing. She's been doing this all along. You know what I mean? She just did it and it got her fame rose or that record just hit or it got the right place, right time. And that will lay groundwork for all these other interesting, super unique artists. It's the same thing like that, like, a lot of like this new shoegaze shit that's happening is like happening because of this. Somebody, I don't know, people are going to give me a million different, who it is, but let's just say someone put down that bridge and now you see all these other kids walking across and you see these like artists that are mixing in all these like EDM influences and blah, blah, blah. But because it's, that sonic sound is like resonating with people now. Somebody started that, and it doesn't matter. That's why I care about pop music because I think that it's interesting to find artists, and you're going to say like, I would argue that Post Malone did this, quite frankly, for changing the minds of what country and pop music could be.
Yeah, sure.
And then look how many people like you're saying, look how many big dudes with tattoos all over their head are now making a ton of money and doing something different. And you're seeing like a bunch of kids that come from areas where quite frankly, that more resonates with like where we're from. And outside of that, dudes with a bunch of face tattoos is much more who might be doing country music or like representing the, middle lower class than quite frankly, some dude dressed up as like a cowboy, like Waylon Jennings. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not representative of anyone anymore. That's a bygone time. It's irrelevant. Yeah. It's a costume, And I'm not saying that that's nobody's culture. It certainly is, but it's getting more and more niche. This is broader. This is more interesting, quite frankly, to a lot more people.
Yeah.
So how big you can get, I think at some point is like, it's kind of you dying on the cross for what you do, in my opinion. Because it's really hard to stay that famous.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, I imagine that Beyonce and her team have an incredible difficulty staying relevant even with as famous as she is. Like it's staying relevant that's difficult. It's not about wealth at a certain point. It's relevancy. And I think that's what like is interesting about watching these things sometimes is just like who's moving culture along at that level. Because you can say like there's all these sick ass bands we know, dude. Like, and I think there's all these like genre defiers and weird things happening and things I'm finding on Spotify because their algorithm's so good at finding small, unique things. And that's great. But if someone doesn't rise to prominence enough to keep that going or allow things like that to get more and more popular, then no one will hear it, you know? Yeah. So I don't know how, I guess I don't know where I'm going with this. It's more or less like just like it's the reason I care about the bigger stuff and try to stay somewhat connected to it because I think it is important whether it's what you think's the best or not is irrelevant.
It's what's catching ears and
yeah. Well, and like I kind of am interested of like who's going to fall on that sword. Who's gonna do it. Because I think it's important.
Yeah.
Towards like cultural progress in music.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's boring. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
What else is going on? I was kind of joking about Grammy takes because I didn't really have any, but then I accidentally.
I don't have any Grammy takes. We turned it on for 1 second.
It's not good.
And Chappell Roan was going on about something.
Hey.
I waited a while, but it never really. I don't know what exactly was being said. So I saw that, and I saw something else. Just very briefly, we popped it on. But that's about it. That's all that I consumed from it. There are I would love to know though. Like speaking, I was thinking some bands that have like kind of changed it for me. Like that band Narrowhead is still releasing music, but I would argue they were way ahead of the curve of doing metally shoegaze in 2014. You know what I mean?
Well, and then you can sit here and argue that Deftones did it before anyone else.
Well,
got classified as new metal because they didn't know what to do with them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, which Deftones is one of those things when I do come back around to it, it is fucking sick.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking cool. So.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess that's the difficulty of like you get a band like that gets. They were a popular band, but they were a popular band under a guise that I don't think that's necessarily what they wanted. It's just that's what was. How else did you define them? Let's throw them into this category. So I think so many people wrote them off for so long, and now it's like a thing that's like come to the surface as like, oh, I think we might have not appreciated that correctly.
Understood what it was. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
I'm sure there's a million other versions of this that are out there that we're not thinking of, but yeah. So I don't know why we're here, but what's going on with you? What did you actually do this weekend? Anything interesting?
No, man. I'm just still recovering. I would say yesterday I felt worse than I did last week, but I woke up this morning feeling much better. Not a hundo, but luckily we have DG in town, so I'll take one of his experimental medications and I'll feel better. I'm joking. I probably will take a little something, but other than that, this weekend, what do we do? We did a Whole Foods and Target pickup on Sunday. And Saturday did nothing, so that's about it. It's like funny. We took it easy, but really just tried to like get better. You know what I mean?
You're sick, so you have a pass.
I have a pass. But that's about it, man. I watched a lot of my fucking random little shows. Willie, okay out there?
Someone fell down.
But I mean, that's about it, man. You know what I did do though? On Sunday night. I cooked an Allison Roman recipe. It was baked shells. Like a red sauce pasta. Instead of stuffing the shells and doing it, it's like a pasta you bake together. So did that pretty good. I had a lot of fun. I have another recipe that I'll be cooking after.
I'm gonna come out and swinging today. I hate ricotta. I'm done pretending I like it.
See, that is so funny to me because I would argue that was the strongest part of the dish.
Yuck.
The ricotta is so fucking good, man.
It's styrofoam.
And I even forgot to dress it up all the way. She wants you to grate a clove or two of garlic in the ricotta mixture and salt and pepper and season it.
Well, man, gotta do something that's flavorless. It's just gritty.
I think you just gotta salt the fuck out of it, man.
I don't. Here's the thing. I've also kind of been, and this is no like health thing. It's like suddenly I'm just not interested in cheese. Like it does not sell me on anything outside of pizza.
Interesting.
Just,
well, you've always leaned vegan. Not that you've ever been vegan since I've known you, but you lean towards things that are not meat, not cheese heavy, just regular. You know what I mean?
It's so heavy these days. The ricotta thing's a separate thing. I've never really liked it. Never really liked it, and I've been like putting up with it. But I think I've hit a limit. We had some lasagna, and it was good lasagna. Tasted great. No issue with the lasagna. I hate that ricotta.
Yo, that lady right there, I'm pointing to Abby. She can make a mean fucking lasagna.
Well, I'll have her there's a bunch of leftover because you can't make like a little bit of lasagna. You know,
if I didn't have this mic in front of me, I'd yell through the wall, be like, Abbers, go and get that lasagna.
Drive up there and get it. You can have the keys in my
honestly, though, but because I don't know if you were around, but we did a fridge clean out a couple weeks ago, and Abby pulls out a tub of lasagna. She goes, cheddar. And we both had the same exact thought of how the fuck was this in the fridge and we let it go to waste. You know what I mean? If we would have both known it was there, we would have eaten it.
Well, I'll go and get it for you because it's going to go bad. Even if I eat a square every day, it's not going to.
Yeah. Well, it's a whole food. So
I just don't. I think it ruins everything it's on. Even when they do like a little dollop on a pizza, I'm like, great, that bite is nothing. It's
interesting.
Just mush.
I mean, you've said that, so I'll say this is something you've stood by for a long time. But
it's
man,
like hummus
I love ricotta.
sans flavor.
Huh.
I don't taste anything when
I don't disagree with you that there's not a lot of flavor, but that's why you got to season it. You got to put the salt, pepper. You got to make it punchy.
So why? But why? It's just a salt delivery system?
Isn't everything? That's all I can consume food.
I mean,
Everything. My favorite foods are anything I can douse in soy sauce and tell me a saltier condiment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't like soy sauce that much. In a sushi situation, just a little, but other than that, I don't really like it.
Yeah.
And you need it in marinades, things like this, but I think it's just sort of.
In a past life, I knew a fella in Ohio. He was an older fella. He's grown. He was an adult, and we'd go get sushi and this and that, and he would take his roll and he'd set it in the jar of soy sauce. Sit back.
Just let it suck it up.
Turn it over. Sit back. That bitch would be saturated.
He's basically cooked it at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like ceviche. You know how it cooks in the salt and the lime juice and shit. That's basically the same thing.
That's crazy.
But man, oh man, do I love soy sauce. But no, that's all I did this weekend, man. What'd you do?
I don't even know what I like. I like Greek food now. That's the only. I've been beat up so many times by food delivery. Food delivery is suddenly bad. We made it so good during COVID, and they were like, "It's better than going to the restaurant." You're like, "I'll never need to go to a restaurant anymore." And now the past like 10 places, I'm like, "What's going on?" It just sucks shit every time.
Yeah. Well, you had an
Something's
issue.
happened.
You had an issue with your Indian food.
I think they got lazy.
Which is an issue that we've had
lazy.
from the same restaurant, which is not something that I love. But man, oh man, do I love Indian food though? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't.
You know?
It doesn't take away from me liking the thing. It's just I've had a lot of bad delivery stuff. We've gone back to picking up, and even that wasn't good.
Yeah.
I think everyone's just thrown in the towel.
Yeah.
Hard to make money in food.
I stopped and picked up something not long ago. Oh, we already talked about it on the pod. I went into bagel shop a couple weekends ago. It's been fun, man. I kind of miss going into a spot and picking up your food, just seeing what's cooking. You know what I mean? See all the people that are in that restaurant.
Well, we've talked about this, but I love going into a place that there's an expiration date on. I'm not going to be in here
long.
long.
We're going home. Yeah.
It's the same thing like eating at a cafe. I like doing it because this doesn't need to be a whole interaction with a waiter.
Give me my turkey club, a little side of 1-2.
In and out,
cold
20
water,
minutes.
and good to go. Yeah, love it.
Cold water.
Well, you know when we had Akiko on from Mother Tongue, and we were asking her like, what's some fast food you love? You know what I mean? And she made a really good point. She's like a ramen shop in Japan, she considers to be fast food. You go in, you order your bowl of soup. It's served to you within a couple minutes. And you eat it and you're on your way. And there's not a lot of space for you to spread out and have your fucking laptop and shit. You know what I mean? Hey, speaking of food, I had a thought when we were talking about orange juice, and since we're on this topic of food, we can circle back to it. You think a juicer could juice like grapes? Is that possible? You know what I mean?
Yes, great. Yeah.
I'm just thinking
I don't know that you even need to do that, really. I think you just like a general sifter is fine.
Yeah.
What, you trying to make grape juice?
Just thinking. Yeah.
Trying to make wine in your garage?
No. I had a buddy growing up, Frankie. His dad would make wine in the basement, and over winter, there'd be a bunch. I think over winter, there'd be a bunch of those big glass things, and we'd be, we slept in the basement. That's where the futon and all that shit was. So we'd all sleep down there, and in the middle of the night, you hear glug 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 glug, and it was the wine things filtering through. But no, I'm not I've had some homemade wines before, pal, and it's not something that I enjoy. There's something going on with a homemade wine that doesn't agree with me. For the record, I'm not much of a wine guy to begin with. I'll have some wine, but it's not really my thing,
Yeah.
Have you ever made a homemade wine?
Yeah, well, I've never made one. I've had one before. Yeah.
So my old roommates,
it was bad. I mean, it wasn't. It was just kind of.
It's got there's a flavor to it. I'm not sure what it is. If it's the sulfites or the tannins, or these are words. It feels
like this feels probably what like ancient civilizations were drinking when they were drinking.
It feels
wine.
like yeah.
You know what I mean?
like Game of Thrones type wine.
Yeah, and it's like this feels like it would make you sick if you had like 2 glasses of it.
Yeah. I would go out to my buddy's grandparents' house. My old roommate, his grandparents lived out here, and I think they both have passed in the last couple of years. So R.I.P. But they were Italian, strong accents. You know what I mean? Like moved out here. Guy built his fucking house with his hands, raised the family out here. It's just that way. And we'd go out there, and he had a cherry tree in the yard, which I thought was cool. But they would always invite us over, and they'd serve us pasta, red sauce and pasta. And he'd always break open a special bottle of wine. And while I was excited because I thought it was a really nice gesture, I'd always be like, there's something going on here that is not regular wine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he also would dry age prosciutto in like their garage. He had like a setup to like dry age prosciutto, and it'd be a special thing every summer. They'd go over and cut off prosciutto and eat it together. It was like a family thing. But I
mean, it seems like it's probably like the healthier version of that. I'm all good with that. It's just it's not. I don't even know that I like, like I've talked about, I don't even think I like alcohol now. So, it doesn't matter to me. But there's a weightiness to it that's just, ugh. It's a little.
Bro, I'm kind of with you on the alcohol tip. I poured myself one of my canned Negronis on the day that I got sick, like not Saturday that just happened, but the Saturday prior. And while that wasn't what made me sick, I took like a couple sips and then I just like got really ill. It just like came over like a wave, So I haven't even like thought about having a beer or anything since. And I like to have my beer at the end of the day here and there. Me and Cole both enjoy that. We think that's a real treat. But
listen, like I said, maybe if we had like a gang of cheapies, you know what I mean? That's like water beer,
Bud Light.
I could have one of those. But anymore, dude, it's like I don't know. I feel like I'm physically ill after drinking every single time. Doesn't matter how much. Doesn't matter what it is.
Here, let me ask you a
Not
question.
For me.
We watch Jeopardy, recorded on YouTube TV, and then watch Jeopardy daily at this point. We go through cycles. We might not watch it for a month, but then we'll watch every episode for a couple months. What do you think? Okay, formerly, the number one highest grossing or most units sold, whatever measure they're using on Jeopardy, the clue was, formerly it was Bud Light, was the highest grossing selling what have you beer in the United States. It was just passed by something recently. What do you think that is? Because when I tell you, you're not going to believe me. But it stuck with me because I was like, that is crazy. Crazy statement. But
okay.
So it was formerly Bud Light.
Mm-hmm. And what is it now? I'm just trying to think of what are the ones I see.
You're not going to think of it. But I would love to know what you think. But
let me ask you like a slightly leading question. Is it new?
No.
Is it like it's a classic brand?
It's something that you and I have talked about for sure. It might not be your beer of choice, but it's certainly something that we've discussed.
But it's like this has been around forever.
You go to a bar, you go to the liquor store across the street.
Bush.
No.
I don't know.
It's Modelo.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
The clue was something like this brand known for the Especial, it's like Modelo, it just recently surpassed Bud Light as the number one selling beer in North America. That was almost verbatim the clue.
I mean, I'm pro it because I think that's better.
I think Modelo bangs, but doesn't that surprise you?
Yeah, it's weird.
It's just like I like Modelo and I've had a fair share, but I wouldn't have thought it'd be to be the number one seller. And now that I answer, I don't know what I think would
this
be,
is
but.
The drinking I did was in the Midwest. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like so there it seems weird, but like I feel like anywhere else that's not weird. You know what I mean?
See, Bud Light would have been my guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that would have been what I thought.
Butter Miller to me. It's like those are always the up there ones.
Well, I don't like High Life. I like regular Miller Lite. White cream can with the gold lettering.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, dude, that goes down easy with some chicken wings.
Mm-hmm. I'd say that might be my favorite.
Yeah, it's so good.
I just like High Life though because the bottle's great.
The packaging is good.
Great bottle. It all tastes the same to me too, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, like all these things are like 1% one way or the other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. What else do we need to cover
what'd you do this weekend?
Oh, nothing. Honestly, like I'm busy. I have like stuff, you know what I mean? All the time. Like we have to do all these little errands and things with Gia and we're out and about, but like nothing to like be like, you're going to be interested in this. I went to a kid's birthday party. You guys like that?
Nice.
It was ice skating.
Nice. You didn't ice skate, did you?
No, I don't know how to. I mean, I think I'd.
You could.
I think I'd know what to do because I know the mechanics, but I've never. I think I've probably done it like once, but like I don't remember anything.
It's like rollerblading, just feels way more severe, like way more room to fuck up. You know, what
I think
saying?
as soon as I did it like one, it's the same thing. Was like I'm sure I could figure out snowboarding. I mean, I skateboarded for eons, and I understand the mechanics of needing to be on a certain weight and stuff on like your back leg. I get that. I understand how to do that.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'd figure it out.
Yo,
and I was good at cruising too, so I feel like I'd be good at it. But I'm not going to. But I feel like I could figure it out if I needed to.
Bro, speaking of snowboarding, we've forgotten about this. Johnny Tsunami used to live in Boulder. Remember him? He's coming to the shop before.
We've not talked about this on the pod.
No, we haven't talked about this on the pod, I don't think. Johnny Tsunami used to be around town.
Why are you hitting Cole about it? What is?
You know Johnny Tsunami because he doesn't know this. No.
I thought you were gonna say he grew up with Johnny.
You know Johnny Tsunami though?
Yeah, I do know Johnny.
Great fucking movie because he talks about when you said
what happens in the movie. I know I've seen it.
Well, he's a surfer and he has to move, and there's a whole thing where snowboarders aren't allowed on the mountain. Skiers, it's one of those things. You know what I'm saying?
But, classic ski movie.
Classic ski movie.
What was your favorite, like that type of, these things were around in our generation?
Like, you mean like a Disney movie?
Yeah.
Like Johnny Tsunami, Brink.
Brink is the one.
Brink was fucking money. That villain Val, dude, hated him. You know what I mean? But
you didn't like his hair.
I just thought he was a bad guy. He played a villain well.
I don't know what his name was in the movie, but Brink's hair was cool. He had cool. He looked like
his last name was Brink, I think.
He had the. Is that true? He looked like the lead singer of Silverchair. Before he went crazy.
It's this dude. His name is Eric Von Detten, and I'm almost certain. I'm gonna say I think Eric Von Detten was also in the Hilary Duff movie. So let's check.
What's the Hilary? That's the name of the movie, the Hilary Duff movie.
Yeah, literally called the Hilary Duff movie.
Who was Hilary Duff? She's not Hannah Montana. That's
no, she
Smiley.
was. Who was Hilary Duff, Cole? Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on.
See, I think that you guys are like my sister's age, and that was like, I know this because of her. I wasn't watching it really, but I was around it.
Yeah.
You know.
No, sorry, this dude wasn't in the Hilary Duff movie, but
shoot.
But he was in Brink. That's a handsome dude. That dude.
He's a good-looking guy. He looked great on skates. That's not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
You know.
So, but that's about it. Those are my movies that I really liked from the Disney Channel. What about you?
I had Brink on deck. That was really
Brink was sick, dude.
What was the one where there was like they were like witches or they were scary?
Hocus Pocus?
No. I know that one.
Halloween Town?
Maybe Halloween Town. That
Halloween
sounds more
Town.
familiar.
It was the old lady, and the girl goes to the old lady's house, and there's like an evil spirit in town kind of thing, and they're trying to all. Yeah.
No. I'm thinking of it had a different name. It was like the house was on a hill, and it had like a. wasn't Salem's Lot, obviously. That's
well, hey,
did
you see there's a new Salem's Lot series on Hulu?
Is it like the movie?
It's a short series, so I would guess 6 episodes. But did you ever watch the 3-part Salem's Lot that debuted? The Stephen King Salem's Lot debuted on TV.
No, I mean I've obviously seen
early
the movie,
2000s or something.
You know.
Hold on,
it's like a miniseries.
Yeah, it was 2000.
Escape to something mountain or something.
Huh. Cole's looking at Escape to Witch Mountain.
Is that it? Escape to Witch Mountain.
See, that doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Oh, see this. I didn't know this one. This is 1975, bro. So I don't know about this one.
Escape to Witch Mountain. There had to be a remake, dude. I wasn't watching a movie from 1975. I couldn't have been.
Buddy, I think you were.
I don't think so.
Beyond Witch Mountain was 1982.
Beyond. A lot of work done there. Escape. If that's the case, then that's not the. Yeah, 1995.
Ah, well.
Golly,
your Google's different than mine.
My Google's different than yours.
There was that movie.
Elizabeth Moss was in it. Eric Von Detten was in it.
Oh, let's go, dude. Yeah, we're dialed in, dude. Let's get him on the pod.
No, we're not. No, we're not dialed in. You can't give us any credit for this. This was all accidental. You said it was a movie from 1975, and I was almost there with you. Was that an old movie I was watching?
Apparently, Eric Von Detten did a voice in Toy Story, too.
Look at who was he?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know the characters besides Woody and Buzz, so it doesn't matter. The pig.
He was Sid? Crazy, dude.
I see a lot of people that look like Sid these days hanging out in New York. I've noticed.
It's called being a thrift kid.
Yeah,
that's
they
the
all
imagery.
look like Sid from Toy Story.
Ratty ass little jeans, some beat up graphic tee.
They're like, this is undercover from, and you're like, dude, it looks like shit, so it doesn't matter. Why does it look like it's so old?
You're a villain in a kids movie. Stop talking to me.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You look like garbage, so it really does not matter how much it was or what year this is from. Okay, so we did that. What are we at? I feel like I keep working us towards something, and I'm realizing we don't even have anything specific. But let me look at my notes here. Nothing. What do we do?
Speaking of, shout out your mom for sending us the Schwan Man truck. We got that thing?
Where did?
We grab that, Cole, please?
Give me that Schwan Man truck.
Speaking of Indiana.
Look at this. We've talked about this on the podcast enough. Choo, baby. Look at that. Imagine this thing. This is what we've been talking about. This guy on like a random Tuesday afternoon in the summer would pull up.
Yep.
He'd come, rizz up your mom a little bit, and then you guys would look through the catalog.
Hey, every woman loves a man in uniform, right?
We learned that from the USPS.
That's what Dan
man
says.
Yeah, he dresses up nice. Dan looks great.
He is sharp
Dan single?
as hell. Huh?
Dan single?
You know what? He might be divorced.
We don't know. We're making this up as we
but
go. If you've
I
got
don't think
if your mom's single though and wants to meet a guy, we can introduce him to Dan.
you for real. You want to meet a man that he's got his shit right. He probably gets his pants hemmed just right.
You've never
pressed.
seen a tucked-in shirt look better on somebody. Like it's so perfectly.
Do you know why?
There's nothing off with him.
Because this isn't a bit for him. That he takes his shit seriously. That motherfucker gets dressed in the morning, and he takes it seriously. And the thing is that
perfectly
is the guy
shaved
you want
every single day. He's always got like a. I don't
His
even. Where is he getting his
dialed.
haircut?
Haircut's
I don't
dialed.
even see a haircut like that anymore.
He is just so undoubtedly cool. But anyway, a man like Dan pulls up
He
to the
pulls
crib.
up, and he's got a binder.
Yeah.
A binder, and it's got all sorts of stuff in it. And then he goes out of the truck. He opens all these little doors. Boom.
Frozen chicken breast, mozzarella sticks, peach cups, whatever you
can
need,
get
dude.
Baseline shit like
French
frozen
toast
vegetables.
sticks.
I don't know why we're always trying to pitch people on the Schwan, man. It doesn't exist anymore.
Wait, hold on. And we did find it is a new company, Schwan.
But they aren't driving something. This is the key. When this guy look at that, it's like a hand. It's like an oil painting of a swan on the side.
Damn, this is a bummer. So Schwan's home delivery rebranded to Yellow, YELLOH in 2022 and ceased operations in November 2024. So just last year, 2 months ago, it ceased to exist. They struggled to compete with online delivery services. And it's just a bummer, man, because I really thought that was cool. If I was in my mom's van, we were going somewhere, and I'd be like, rich house, alert. They got Schwan man in the driveway. You know what I mean?
Rich house alert.
Circle back around. I want to see what these people look like. You know?
Yeah.
So
what are they ordering?
What are they ordering? But man, it is a bummer because that was a legitimate period in time where it was like this is just so cool. So
it's the height of luxury.
Shout out Timothy's mom. I don't know if we've ever said her name on the pod.
Now we get to honor them with this gorgeous vehicle
And
that we think turns on. We just have to figure out the battery situation. It has an on button. So we'll let you know what those features are once we get it plugged in.
Do you know if Market Day is that still doing?
I don't think I know what Market Day is. I mean, I
Market
know it's
Day.
a similar thing that would happen at schools.
Oh, it's still around.
My mom did
so
it. So
Market Day would be another thing that would be of a particular era, and this is something that my beautiful mother would have had in the house as well. And it was something that was, if I remember correctly, it was given to students to bring home to their parents. And it was similar. You have a line sheet.
They put an order together?
You put an order together.
Line sheet?
That's literally what it was. A line sheet with
They
the
get a
prices,
lookbook
and
and a
here's what it
line
is.
sheet.
Yep. And but there was something from Market Day Peach Cup. We've talked about this on the pod. That's what it is. Yeah, I remember we went down this whole thing. There were these peach cups that we'd get from Market Day that you'd freeze, and then I'd eat them like an ice cream. And dude, I'm telling you right now, that's the best. That's the best peaches you've ever had. I thought they were so good. I'm getting giddy thinking
you're a
about
weird
it,
guy.
So, but Market Day was tight too. So if Gia ever gets that through her school or something
You're
like that, you
interested
should
to
hit
see-
me up. Yeah,
I'm just gonna throw some peach cups into the freezer and wait till you see them.
bro.
Is that what it's called? It's called a peach cup?
It was. I've gone down this road and I found Reddit threads of people trying to find these exact peach cups, and I think we found it was from a company, if I remember, in Ojai, California, the OJAI. That's how you say it, Ojai, right?
Yeah, this is an insane thing for you to be litigating on.
But I'm
You're
pretty
looking
sure
at me going OJAI. It's like, yeah, Ojai. I know what it is.
I think that's what the company was, if I remember correctly. And it was just like an industrial food processing company that had sold to these companies. So they were
wild that would be based in Ojai. Thinking of what it is now.
I could be completely wrong,
No,
but
who
I want to
cares?
say
It
it was
doesn't
somewhere
matter.
West
It's
Coast. But anyway, these peach cups, bro, they weren't meant to be eaten frozen, I don't think. But my babysitter would freeze them, and I just remember being like, "Dude, I'm telling you, these are so good." So you know what? Let's put a pin in this. I'm gonna find those peach cups and put in an order. But anyway, Market Day.
You're just like
Market Day was
outside
sick,
of
too.
school asking if they got Market Day. They're like, "Sir, you can't do this."
No, don't worry. I'm just asking your kid about their Market Day order.
Okay, what's next? What else is on the agenda? You got anything else? Maybe we talk about what's going on at work.
Yeah. So obviously we're in February now. We are full on. Momentum has begun. We're getting shipments. Most recently, let me pull up our inbound list here. Huh? We got Nanamika delivered last week. That is a small portion of the order. There's plenty more to come. What came were the wide chinos, some of the denim stuff, the wind shirts, and some of the thermals. I believe that's it. Denim jacket. Nanamika rules. I put together a couple looks in Discord this morning, like I said I was going to. So I put together a couple looks in Discord, just threw in a couple fits, took some mirror photos. Shit's gas, dude. I think it's really good. I think. I just think
we should probably say too. This is only like part of the order.
It's very small portion of the order. This was just whatever they were shipping from Tokyo. So, Nanamika has landed. We got. It might be online already at this point. We got that CDG book. Talk to me about that.
I think. Well, it's like
because you came across it through ordering.
Big Chris sent it to me. He said, "Are we getting this?" He goes, "Somebody else asked him," and I was like, sick. "Oh, I hadn't seen it."
Beautiful.
So it's a really beautiful sort of like. I don't know, like an oral history of this sub brand of Comme des Garçons Parfum, and kind of the history of everything they've ever worked on, all the super rare stuff, little deep dive into each one, and it's kind of cultural relevancy.
The
and all
photos are crisp. It's like got that cool binding. Yeah, really, really, really cool. So, those
if you're like
landed.
a super fan, you need it. You know what I mean?
And this is a perfect like. I say this a million times, but it's like a coffee table book. Like you're sitting on the couch waiting. It's time to leave. You just gotta kill 10 minutes while your partner gets ready. It's not time to leave. It is online. Cole's confirmed. He's pulled it up on the website. Pop over to the CDG perfume page. It is really, really, really cool. This would be a cool thing, especially if you're a scent freak, which we found in the last year. A lot of you guys are kind of scent freaks. A lot of
You're
people
all scent
really.
freaks.
And CDG's fun in the way too, where like it's fun to collect them. There's so many different series, and you can have your couple favorite from each series. I obviously love the Monocle and the Incense series, but we got that book in. That's really cool. It's online. It had to have gone online just an hour or two ago, so that's online now. We have some Popeye on the way. We have some Rototo on the way. We have a small restock from Beams Japan on the way. It's mostly keychains. Mostly keychains and a couple other things.
Well, there's those like seashell bracelets that are stalling the whole thing up.
Yeah.
But.
So Timothy and I just had to renew our Fish and Wildlife license for these shells. I would assume.
Where is it at? Is it our U.S. one or is it our like Alaska one? I have a couple of them.
I think it's just the general Fish and Wildlife.
You head up to Alaska, do a little hunting.
You go to Alaska sometime?
No, never.
I do. I'm interested in it.
No interest.
But so we got a little bit of.
I've been at the gym watching. It's just there, and it's like half the TVs are always like froze for some reason.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are like tuned to news things, and then so the only one that's like normal. Well, there's two that are normal. Sometimes it'll be like FX playing a movie I'm interested in, and then I'll end up being on the treadmill way longer than I intended to because it's like, oh shit, I watched like all of Pride and Prejudice.
50 minutes.
Then other times they're playing one of those. I don't know what they are. These dipshits that live in the woods and they just like document because they're like trapping bears to sell furs.
I almost bet I know what it is. I bet it's called Port Protection Alaska.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I've
watched that show. It's dope.
Guys, first of all, one thing I always notice that'll be like it's a guy that looks like fucking Gandalf, and then they'll cut to like his headshot where he's talking about the coyote's got my beaver fur again, and then every single time it's like he's 27. Like, oh my god, it's bad to live outdoors. They all look like garbage.
Yeah.
And it's so stupid. It makes me so irritated because every single time I see them being like mad that they're like, I forcibly put myself out here in the woods for no reason at all. I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Seattle. Yeah. And I'm here now trying to trap bear furs or whatever. And the coyotes and it's like, it's their area, jackass. And because they're like, they're on my territory. I'm like, your territory? You don't own anything. They're here. That's their food source. And you're goofing around with it.
Here's the thing, pal.
Who's buying these furs? Like, how are they supporting themselves off of these?
Well, that's what my mind goes to is in this show that I'm thinking of in particular. Which if that's not if it's not Port Protection,
I don't know what it is.
It's something like it. I've always wondered like, there's not commerce out there, man. Like these are the show that I'm thinking of. They talk about like there's like one road in and out, and it takes hours. 350 miles to the next town with a hospital or something, or you can come in via boat or airboat. Like a plane that lands on water type shit. There isn't commerce, so I always wonder how do people come up on this land? Is you just save a lump sum and then you buy it, but you gotta have. How do people do it? You know what I'm saying?
The other day, while I was seeing this on TV, they took two beagles and tied them to the hood of their car to drive around to find a scent of some dumb shit.
No way.
And I was just like, this is the stupidest. These are the stupidest guys that live here.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
don't know,
dumb.
man. I'll be honest with you, Timbo. My
Chase,
life goes to
they
shit.
tied a dog to the hood of a car. Stop this. They tied a dog to a hood of the car. That's their solution. And then they like soldered on like, a chain so if the dog fell off, it would choke out. It's like it was not thought through at all. It's insane. It's insane. It's the stupidest guys on planet.
But
And like I said,
Brando.
they always cut to him and they're like, he's 34. And I'm like, there's no way. There's no possible way. That's an 80-year-old man.
Listen, we can talk this into exhaustion. We've talked about it a million times, but I'm really interested in that life. I'm really interested in what it would be like to just like live in the woods. I'm not saying I want to live in a fucking shanty.
You don't even go camping.
Yeah, because I pay a bunch of money to fucking be in a house in civilization.
Okay, easy excuse though, to be honest with you, because you could take a couple days.
Sure, I don't want to.
Oh, interesting.
but also in my fantasy of living in the fucking woods in Montana or Alaska and shit, I'm in a full ass house with a bed. I'm not roughing it. It's just I'm far from other things. You know what I mean?
There's no internet. There's barely TV.
No, there's internet, dude. There's internet.
They have internet, but they need to strap a dog to the hood of a car. They have internet.
Well, this is what I'm saying. How do they do it? Because they got money. There's not commerce, but they got internet.
I have a
or
funny
they're bootlegging.
feeling. I have a funny feeling. These are sons of rich men who have gone, I reject this lifestyle. Although I'll take whatever I'm owed from you in my mind, and then I'll go out to the middle.
For the record, I don't think Mashan's super keen to go live in the middle of the woods, so I don't think it's going to be happening.
I don't think that's a good idea for you guys. No, not at all.
No. I do want us to buy some property in the woods though. But that'd be, again, the property we're talking about buying, for the record, is well within 30 minutes to the Whole Foods in Boulder. And again, I'm being dead ass serious. I'm not living somewhere that isn't 30 minutes from a Whole Foods anymore. It's not happening. I got one in my town.
I'll go 20.
Yeah.
20's my max.
Hey,
I went to your
closer the
place
better.
recently and I got in the car with 30 minutes. I thought it was like 15.
Bro, I know. And it's an improvement from Denver. I'll say that because driving on 36
traffic,
is just awful. Driving on 36, bro.
I'll tell you this much. If you don't do the video podcast, it's worth it just to see how you
my disdain for
that,
US 36.
Yeah.
Trash fucking road, dude. But Longmont definitely is a hike. But you know what? Me and Mashan, we've gone back and forth. Are we saving to buy a house? Or are we saving to move to a place closer to Boulder to then save to buy a house? Or I don't know where we've landed. We switch every day.
Come closer to Boulder.
I would love to.
You got to. It's unnatural what you're doing.
Yeah. We found a spot that was kind of where it is. Do you remember when you and I were in a car? And you said, "Hold on, you'll know. You and I are not in a car out and about together all that often.
I understand where you're going.
We were
in
a car, and you said, Chase, I saw a fucking wolf here. Do you remember this?
Yeah,
out in that region of Boulder. So still very much so in Boulder, but 10 minutes to the shop instead of 29:32.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
So you're Boulder County,
but you know what I'm talking about. That region, South Boulder.
Yeah.
That would be pretty much ideal for me. Best of both worlds. So it's definitely it's a possibility. It's a possibility. So we'll see.
How did we get here?
I was just thinking the same thing.
I know I brought up the thing because it was fresh in my head from. It's like right where I use the machines. That it's like that's the only TV in view too. So I'm really seeing that one a lot. But I don't remember how we got there from. From Nanamika is the last thing I remember.
Oh well, we were gonna buy property in the woods. Is what we were saying. So that might not be. But we're going to buy property in the woods. And Coley, maybe you guys are interested in. Oh, it's Seashells, Fish and Wildlife.
Oh, it's the Fish and Wildlife license.
So the Fish and Wildlife. So we can import literally the Fish and Wildlife, the homepage that I went to renew the license. It's got a bunch of photos. There are dried seahorses.
What's someone doing with a dried seahorse?
They said it was ancient, literally verbatim, it was like ancient Asian medicine. Or something is what they were saying.
Oh, so like when Ryan, or not Ryan, Andy
Gabe.
took
Andy took him at Gabe and Aaron's apartment. Yeah. He says, imagine a sound stretched out into a million universes or something, something stupid like that.
When he's in the cutscene at the end when he's playing.
Yeah. But no, so on the front page it was a bag of hundreds if not thousands of dried seahorses. It was walking canes that had.
Who's drying them out?
I don't know, man.
You just put them on land and wait. Like
I'm sure there's some sort of curing process.
Yuck.
But basically we could import ivory from elephant tusks.
Humans shouldn't exist.
All this and
when I
that.
hear
You know
these
what I'm
things,
saying?
You know?
Yeah. And you know what?
Why
Let's fucking. We're done with the
taking
ivory.
them out and drying them up in the first. Who was the first guy to do this?
I mean, dude, I don't know. Long ago. So
I want to. Somebody nominate me president of the world. And I'm just gonna when someone says they're drying a bunch of seahorses, I'm like, what? What do they do? No, put
no,
there.
we're done with that.
No.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So there was that. There was, as another example, they had like a taxidermy alligator. There was walking sticks that had animal bones as the handle. Yeah. There were globes that had
this is
ivory.
Great news because I have your birthday list covered for the next couple of years. I'm just importing these an alligator. A bone.
My dumbass loves artifacts, so could be right up my alley.
Artifacts.
All right. Let me talk about some more things that come in, and then I have something else.
Okay, go ahead.
That I'd like to talk about. So, Beams Japan restock. We got some shit coming in. Camille Fortunes did land Monday.
It's really good. It's
Monday.
like the
What's
first
today?
half of the shipment or something.
Yeah, literally yesterday. It's not nothing, but it's not all of it either.
Yeah, it's a good delivery. There's some really good pieces in it.
So that has landed some things that I'd like to point out is that hoodie. The pullover hoodie or pull up hoodie, I think it's called, with the the cinch, this and that and the other. So Camille Fortunes is gas. We have our legacy on the way. I just wrote all of the product, and I don't think it's everything, but I wanted to say too, anecdotally, biggest our legacy buy we've ever had. There's a lot coming, bro. And it's because our MFers love it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where we brought it in, and slowly it's becoming more and more regular for us. So
one of the best quality for the cash purchases.
100%, absolutely stellar. And a lot of the stuff coming is things you're familiar with. A lot of third cuts.
Yeah, I think this first one's kind of like the core selection or the restock kind of selection, and then seasonal comes out.
Cool. I know also because I had to fill out clearance forms for it. All the footwear. So four pairs of shoes. We got the Camion Mules. We got the Gabe sneakers again. These things called the Clove sneakers, and then Trampler shoe. In black leathers.
Tumbled leather, whatever.
It's like a black supple cowhide is what it's itemized as. So our legacy is on the way. So Lemaire and our legacy should both land today, tomorrow, hopefully. Again, I submitted all the clearance through customs. And then also, I'm not familiar with this, but it looks like you added this morning. It looks like we got a Visvim buy that's ready. Do you have any insight as to what those items are?
I
can check finance real quick.
Skagways. There were some name of a boot I don't remember. So boots.
Oh, I got it pulled up right now.
Some denim. There was, I think there might have been kerchief jackets in there.
Oh, Cheddar Pie is gonna cop some stuff. Yeah, dope, dude. Okay, so Visvim's on the way. For anybody out there,
kerchief jacket?
What?
You're gonna buy a kerchief?
No. But I see some hoodies, or hoodies and long sleeve jumbo sweats and shit like that. So I just like to try those on. And also, I've never had a pair of Visvim pants. So anyway, selling some shit to the guys here. So I got a little bit of fun money in my PayPal. $160 or something.
I was gonna say, is it sub 200?
I was waiting.
Every time.
Just wait, sub 200 at the moment.
Yeah.
But we're
still building.
Oh, there's the 101X jacket in like a check, which looks really nice. Really stoked on all this. So I need to write this and get this ready to go. But when that comes, we'll bang your line. Kerchief jackets in 3 colors. So Visvim's on the way. So that's basically what we got coming in at the moment. We'll keep you updated as other things become ready. Nobody else has banged my line looking for labels or anything.
There'll be some more stuff too.
Also, for anybody out there that if by chance you listen to this and I have a pair of your jeans that I haven't hemmed, my machine was really giving me troubles for the 7.5, 8 years that this shop's been open. It didn't run for the first year, and then somebody else ran it for 6 months, and then Timothy and I sat down and I learned how to run it, and I've been the only person to run it for years. In that time, we've had it serviced one time. I oil it fairly regularly. A fella in Arvada who has a denim shop just recently really took it down, dropped it off at a shop. those 3 pairs of jeans that I was sitting on are hemmed, so those customers will have those jeans. And he said, I'm surprised that this was stitching at all. He took it apart, refurbished it, this, that, and the other. I was talking before we went on the pod, Timbo, I'd like to take the machine home and maybe start hemming jeans at home for people through the shop. So anyway, if you have jeans that you want hemmed,
you always act like there's some bear. I don't care what you do with the damn machine.
All right, well,
take
fair
it wherever
enough.
you want.
I'd like to take it home. I think that'd be fun.
I cannot wait for the machine response on you.
I already texted her
up with that giant.
I already texted her, and she goes, "Wait, you're not hemming jeans at work, and I just want to hem it at home." So we'll see. That's about it. It's about it for things incoming. It's about it for news.
That's what you had.
Yeah.
How are we on time right now? Do we have time or no? Oh, we're good.
We got some time, yeah.
We can do. We can talk about maybe fall winter 24 collection.
Yeah,
or 25 collection. Sorry, because we're not done, but we're close to done with that season.
So
what are some standouts for you, just right out the gate?
Per usual or slow. I think obviously some of the things that we love has hit. What are you laughing?
I don't know what it is with you today. It's like a lot of facial expressions. It's like you're doing like a. You're like playing to the back of the room. You're like doing a play.
Playing to the back of the room.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I think some of the things that were formerly seasonal were moved to core. So obviously all the pants and things like that we'll have coming. But seasonal is hot. We got a lot of pants that are coming in new silhouettes that are plays off of previous pants. Mm-hmm. Some cargos, wide fit French work pants are back, and lots of different, I know our community loves the summer weight fatigues. A lot of shit like that, where it's fatigues in an interesting dye or an interesting fabric, an interesting weight.
I'll go through a couple of things. Just maybe I'll point out some highlights because people will like this, and this can just be this is what you get for listening this long. New 1950s. So, those in the same way I forget what it was called, the 1960s. What was it called?
The 66.
Yeah. There's a
Model
1950s
66.
version. So I would imagine, without seeing it in person, I would imagine we're looking towards something like 1954 from Levi's vintage clothing, which is, really great pant, which is like a lot of top lock with a like slight taper, but nothing wild. Mm-hmm. So it was really good with wearing like with sneakers and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's exciting. A lot of the wide fit utility pant. You used to be a big wearer of the utility pant. So that's a new one. We got fatigue pants in brushed flannel, which I feel like those will be hitters. Herringbone fatigues. I mean, how much we're a big pusher of that thing in general, so you'll have those. Moleskin fatigues.
Yeah. Moleskin fatigues and matching top. They're playing to the kits. There were many kits we bought that had matching top and bottom.
That one in particular I'm very interested in.
Yeah.
The
moleskin one. I've never owned any moleskin.
I love it. I've had moleskin from them before. I've had moleskin from other places. There's obviously a lot of different treatments of it. Yeah. So it can kind of change vibe wise. I think it's like the easiest thing. It feels kind of like flannel, but like if flannel was made of denim almost. Yeah. Because it's much heavier. Mm-hmm. And it ages really well. Obviously,
really durable too, right?
It can go from being almost like velvety to almost like real neppy, and so it just depends. This one looks more towards that kind of like hairy neppy look.
Cool.
I don't know. Looks great. I love it. It's super durable, but it's soft and nice. Yeah. Wide fit New Yorkers.
That's coming technically. Wide fit New Yorkers are coming for spring summer 25. Yes.
You'll like the wide fit cargo pant.
Yeah. So I've said
stonewashed black 6-pocket cargo, which you're a big pusher of.
Yes, I think the vintage fit 6-pocket cargo in olive ripstop. That is my favorite pant I've ever bought from the store. It's in my opinion the best pant you can buy for the money. We have those coming, obviously repeat and then black stonewashed, and then they did a wide fit cargo. So I'm assuming the silhouette is going to be in the similar realm, just a wider fit, probably in the same silhouette as the wide French work pant.
Yeah, and then there's a couple things I just noticed too that I know people have been asking for, which was basically different but very similar to the prisoner coat.
Yes, I was going to bring that up, the shop coat.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was a simple work coat or something. And then kind of the birth of the first knitwear collection from.
Yes, so we not. Last spring, we got those summer weight cotton crew neck. I'm talking about just a cotton crew neck. And they had the weird kind of dyes to them. One was rose colored, and the other one was like a gray. So we have a repeat of those, not with the treatment, just regular colors, and then mimicking it in a knit. So I'm really eager for the knits, really eager for the crew necks. Hopefully they run a little big. Yeah, Orslo was the standout for me. Is there anything else from the collection you wanted to shout out?
Those are kind of the main ones. Like you said, there a lot of things were like kits. So you can imagine if we set it in the pant, there's a top version of it. I think those were kind of like the main call outs, I would say, without giving away the farm.
Yeah.
I think Oralee for me was the biggest standout this season. I love Oralee, obviously, so I'm somewhat partial. But I think even without being partial, it was one of the most interesting collections we looked at. As far as like blending wearability with insane materials and kind of takes on popular trends and stuff like that. So I really like that collection. Really good leathers specifically in the collection. And then also a bunch of interesting like dye techniques and kind of stuff that they're usually not doing as much, almost a little bit more of a workwear and casual approach than they normally take. So I'd say that if you're like interested in Oralee or have liked it in the past, but maybe it's a little too dressy for you, this is a little bit of a diversion from that.
It's like a marriage of like really nice silhouettes, luxurious materials, but maybe aren't as like fine materials, meaning like you can maybe just put a little more wear on them, feel a little more comfortable in them. Like think about those canvas jor coats. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Very much in that vein, in that kind of like, that delivery.
Brondo, we're forgetting the major one. Harrell.
Yeah, Harrell it's just 100% hitters.
Oh, shit. And I already forgot. You kind of talked me into ordering a personal, and I can't wait until that comes. So Harrell's absolutely stellar. We had our meeting with them. They showed in Paris for the first time, but we had a digital meeting with them. Literally everything that was offered we thought was absolutely stellar. We had a hard time paring it down, so we didn't. We kind of just
we just ordered a lot.
Kind of just went for it. So
I would say to like point out something that I think's like, light years above everything else in the collection. It is this cashmere blended denim.
Yes.
So it's like I forget if it's the warp or weft. One is cashmere, the other is denim. Yeah. It looks almost raw, but obviously it's cashmere.
And in the showroom, they had a jacket that I believe the owner had worn for a month or so.
Yeah,
and I think probably washed once or twice.
Really great
really
drape.
Cool. Yeah,
blanket lined in a lot of cases. The blanket lining is also cashmere, obviously. It's beautiful. Also, I mean, just as far as like the nicest version of that thing I've ever seen, it's that.
And the leathers were hot. One of the jackets that I ordered was
great
a leather.
Suede
I've never owned a leather jacket, Timothy. Never had a leather.
Step.
I never had any leather.
I went through a heavy leather phase.
Yeah. Do you still have that Ursula one, or did you get rid of that?
What's that?
Did you still have that Ursula one, or did you get rid of that?
That one never fit me great, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I loved that jacket. It just never really fit me all that well, and I regret selling it. I probably shouldn't have, but it's a great piece. Yeah, it was a great piece. Probably shouldn't have sold it. I just wasn't wearing it enough, and I was being I got rid of a lot of stuff I was being too sensitive with. You know what I mean? And that one was, for some reason, I was and shouldn't have been. And I also like struggle with orangey tint things.
And it was definitely it was similar to the mink color Birkenstocks that I love.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is like it's the same thing with that brown Vans I gave you. That like it's the same.
I love them.
You know what I mean? Like for some reason that inside of my closet, I don't have anything that works in that range. So that's 90%. It was a great piece. I shouldn't have sold it.
Speaking of suede, I've never had a jacket. I think the only footwear I wear, like literally the only footwear I wear is suede at this point.
Why?
My Clarks, the ones are nubuck. Vans that I lean towards are those brown ones that are suede. The Birkenstocks are suede. I don't know. I just think that's the lane that I found that I feel comfortable in. I'm deep in a Clark's hole right now. You know what I mean?
C-hole? I was going to say K-hole, and I'm like, that's not a K.
No, that's not right. But I'm really loving my Clarks. So
yeah, the collection it's if you like Harrell, it's like them on, they're just destroying it. You know what I mean? They're just they've kind of like every aspect of what they do, they're just doing really fucking well. Man, it's really good. I don't even know what I want. I want all of it.
Yeah.
Is the problem. I'm just looking through the lookbook again. I don't know if they've dropped the lookbook or not, but here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna drop that damn lookbook, and everybody I know is gonna send me things. I'm gonna get 25 DMs in a row that day. Like, you see this? You see this? You see this?
And like, while I think the lookbook had strong representation of pieces that are good, it didn't show every. There's so much that wasn't shown.
Yeah, they only ever do like 15 looks, and they've got it's a big collection.
So much that wasn't shown, and I can't express to you how good literally everything was.
The only thing okay, so you saw something that you've already pre-ordered, obviously, but like the only thing I saw that I was like, no question saw it, and I was like, I need it. Boxy Blue Son kit from La Mer. That thing is so good.
What's the color?
Well, there's two colors. Let me see if I can pull it up.
It's written if you want to check
Graphite
Shopify.
Blue.
Yeah.
Oh, this is not from this season. This is from
okay.
Graphite Blue and Espresso. It comes in.
Yeah.
It's really subtle, and if you like the boxy jacket, it's almost like to me it kind of reads as a better version of the boxy jacket, and I love that piece.
Bro, when you want to move that chocolate La Mer jacket,
I'm not gonna move that piece.
Well, don't get rid of that without hitting me though, because sometimes you do. And I want that jacket.
Sometimes I do.
I want that jacket.
Scolded.
That's probably my favorite piece. When you wear that, I'm like, that's mine.
It's a really good jacket. Yeah,
perfect. So
yeah, I don't know why I hemmed and hawed about it. So I was worried that the arms would be tough on it, and then I just never really tried it on. And then I tried it on, and I was like, oh shit, I should have bought this a long time ago because I'd wanted that piece for a while. In fact, I'm going over to our current. Oh yeah. we got a box.
Of what's on the way?
It's a denim one. It doesn't work into the golden retriever thing, but I mean the German Shepherd thing. But I can make an exception.
Is it denim snow or is it denim?
Denim indigo.
Yeah.
So yeah, but there's
what,
also
but here, bro.
What is this trucker jacket that looks really good too in chocolate? That
would fit But listen, bro, because you wear jeans still, so denim gets a pass from your.
I know denim gets a pass. Oh, never mind.
Shepherd.
There's a zip loose on in walnut. So anyone that was looking to get the biggest size in that, sorry.
That's tight, dude. Let them know. Fuck them.
Okay. What else in fall has been good so far? Lady White had a stellar season. In my opinion.
Yeah. Not the season. Like, listen, we love the recurring.
Sure,
gems, you know what I mean? That's our bread and butter.
It's a basics brand. Do you know what I mean?
But
it's been changing, obviously, and they obviously have a very robust collection as well. This is probably the first time where I felt like this not the first time, but this felt really fully realized, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Where it really felt like the core is the core, but this is its own universe, and it really is good. Yeah. We were having troubles making it work because it was so good. You know what I mean? So I think that's really exciting. Other things that I was like hyped on looking through this, you were right to call out Harrell. Our Legacy had a great season. I mean, it's like it's doing itself really well. So it's not really about any like a single call out, but more like, oh damn. What else? Oh, you know what? Maybe the other one to call out is Tyga. That season it's very good. If that's your cup of tea, you're gonna be very happy. There's a fabric that's using inspiration of like hand-drawn sumi ink paintings.
Sick.
And that's the inspiration for like how they did it. So it honestly looks like if you know like watercolor, like if you make a line with watercolor and then do another one and you see how there's like different depths to
like
the color.
opacities laying on top of each other.
That's what it looks like.
Sick.
But like dyed with sumi, so it's like this really beautiful, rich gray.
I'll tell you what, there isn't a group of individuals in North America who like Tyga more than our store staff. The folks who work over the store,
90%
those motherfuckers love Tyga Takahashi.
Yeah. So if you need if you're a nerd for this shit and you need a friend, call the
bang
store
their
up.
line. Yeah, they really truly love it. So
yeah, there's really good stuff in here. Like I said, just a lot of interesting dye things happening. So and there's a leather that's kind of to die for. So that's it's a big season for leather.
Yeah.
So if you've never invested in a leather before, maybe you start thinking about saving putting a little money away, putting your PayPal money away for.
Put that PayPal money away, baby. I'm gonna shout out the jacket that I pre-ordered because I just really want to talk about it. It is like a bomber style, like a deep navy suede. Just fucking stellar. And that is featured in the lookbook. So when Harold drops the lookbook, that's the jacket that I got.
Not featured in the lookbook. The other version.
The green one
there's
is featured?
2 versions, yeah.
Oh.
So the one that has like the cover piece and the epaulets and stuff, that's the one that's in the book.
Oh.
not the blue one.
Oh. Well,
I might be wrong. I just know I saw that one for sure in there.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
maybe here. I can. It only takes a second.
I'm pretty sure the blue one's in there because I showed Machine. But anyway.
It might be. Oh yeah, it's in there too.
I'm thinking about the kits that I'm gonna pull with that, and I can't wait. That's gonna be my like, hey, we're going to a nice dinner type.
I can tell you what everyone's gonna want. What's gonna sell out instantly is the painter pants. I mean, not the painter pants. The Carhartt, like the double knee looking thing. This is the best. This is it. This ends the trend.
The pockets kind of go into it.
This is the best one.
Yeah.
This is the one you get. Throw out your other ones and then be done with it.
Yeah.
Like that's the one you need.
Yeah.
And they got it styled in here with a fucking banger trench in a red sweater.
Yeah.
To die for.
Yeah.
Those were like, I mean, look, everything was pretty good this season, if I'm being completely honest with you. I didn't really have like anything. I really liked the Camille collection too. I know we were just talking about that, but there were some like specific pieces in there, like some new takes on classics. Again, another brand that really feels like it's starting to like find its like full stride. Like, you know, I think this is a brand when this gets like, this one, it's going to hit a gen pop at some point and explode, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's really good.
I mean,
and this collection is smart.
Yeah.
There's a take on so you can imagine you know what Camille does at this point. Number one, I think they found a nice line between like full Camille crazy and nothing at all, you know, and they're like right in between now. So like they're putting it in all the right spots.
Yeah.
And they have a version of I said I wasn't going to do hunting because I don't love wax material personally, but there's a brown wax jacket in here that's basically a take on a barber, like their take on a barber that is stellar. And I might change my attitude a little bit on waxed. I might make a concession because it's great. Man, I think those to me were the highlights. I mean, there's a couple of highlights in here, like a collaboration with a brand that we can't talk about just yet. A couple of those are kind of happening in here that I can't talk about.
So
not with us specifically, like collaborations inside of brands.
Oh. I'm not remembering right.
Oh, I can't hint it. I know you. I can see you want me to do that. I can't.
Is there?
You'll just say it in a week or two anyway. So
I've let a little corner of the internet know about a brand we have coming for spring. Can we say it?
You're on camera.
You can't see that shit.
Just who cares? Like I said, you spill the beans on everything.
Yeah, fuck it, I'm doing it. We have James Coward coming to the shop for
never
spring.
Put together that's what you were trying to do.
Yeah, JC, bro. I even did it backwards for you.
I thought
Disney Channel shit. You know what I'm saying? Where the kids are jumping on the trampoline, right? And I remember being like, they're not even writing it.
Oh my god! It just clicked what you're talking about. You're talking about the in between scenes that were. You're nuts, dude.
We're on Disney on the mind after we were talking about Brink and shit. You know, but James Coward is coming to the shop for spring.
Let me ask you a question. I obviously want to come back to this because this is an important bit of news. I thought we already said it, but maybe we just said it on Discord. Do you think that we could? What's his name again? Eric Von Dutch. What was his name?
Eric Von Detten.
Do you think we can get him on the pod?
Let's try.
Write that down. I don't want to forget that. Let's see if we can get Eric Von Detten from Brink on the podcast.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Fashion legend, mostly in hairstyle and vibe.
Handsome motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's get him on. I bet we can get him on.
Yeah.
Okay. James Coward. Yeah. This brand I've admired for eons. I've owned a couple pieces. Yeah. Really great. Really, really great. This will be our first collection with it. So it's the spring collection. So this will actually be soon. I think it starts delivering in March.
Yeah.
So this isn't going to be have to wait till fall sort of thing. I love every piece. I mean, this is an easy full convert for me.
Yeah.
What are you laughing about? Is he dead or something? He's not.
No, he's not. He's alive, bro.
Okay.
He was looking at Eric Menendez or Menendez or whatever.
What if you reach out to Eric Menendez in prison and see if we can get him on the pod?
That's sick.
Yeah, I really like this collection. I mean, truly, there's not a single piece in there I would not own.
Yeah.
I've trimmed things down so much. I don't think I can reset necessarily at this point. I got to just add to, which is great.
It's good for you.
I don't know. I could go pretty deep in there, man. There's really good pieces.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting, and I know that's got like a religious following. So
very much so. Very much so. It's the same guy who's wearing Redacted, and a couple other brands. So
yeah, Redacted.
I'm just doing a bit.
I understand.
I'm not saying it out loud.
Yeah, I understand it. There's plenty of people doing that as a job, apparently. So, what can we leave people with? Is there anything? So overall, I guess to close that up, Fall Winter 25 is really exciting. There's really, really strong. It's just like, I don't even think there's anything to be like, this is a huge diversion or this is some crazy thing. It's not that. It's like every brand you like doing themselves, like at full volume.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Agreed. And it's hard to say because I feel like we wrap up a buying season now that we're wrapped on forward 25, but we will be soon. We wrap up a buying season. You're like, man, everything was hot. But this season, it's like, damn, it's really bangers. You and I have looked at that budget sheet and been like, what are we doing?
Normally, there's kind of look. You obviously you have to set a budget within the business. And you have to kind of stick to an approximate. And it's a difficult thing to do, especially with the type of buying we do. But there's a lot of like, concessions you make. You're like, oh, this one, they're obviously like, and that's the thing. Sometimes a brand brings hundreds of pieces, and sometimes they bring 40. You know what I mean? You just never know what you're going to look at. And you have like a general idea and you set a general budget, but you're trying to be swift enough to be like, damn, this collection is just really good. Like we're going to be deeper in it than I budgeted for initially, but that's okay. Another brand will show small or something doesn't work out or whatever it is. And it always kind of evens out. This season is not evening out is the problem. It's not a problem. It's great for the customer. Yeah. It's great for hopefully business. But every brand, like I said, is, I've seen a couple people, reviewing more runway and just saying like, I think that these moments for big surprises from brands or huge punches or crazy patterns or colors or blah, blah, blah. And then even the like reverse side of that, of this whole like, quiet luxury, everything's in gray. It's none of those things anymore. This truly just feels like brands doing the brand.
Yeah.
So I'd say that at this point, if you've got a brand where like, oh, I really love this, or I've been kind of debating this is a great season for you because it's just the brand doing the most full, which in my mind, that's like the best art you could realistically be doing. It's just them doing themselves at, like I said, at full volume. Yeah, so it's really exciting. I mean, it's all good things. I think there's not really a brand I looked at where I'm like, fell short. It's all good.
No. And we made some changes to the lineup and that's just how it goes, but we never close doors. So
yeah, and there's still some new surprises in there too that we have not, that you have not spilled the beans on yet. Now you will.
Don't give me too many flowers.
I know that
buddy.
it's exclusively because you're not remembering. That's it.
But, if I saw the list, it all but be falling out of my mouth.
Yeah, you're a freak today. Let's get out of it. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, let's wrap it up, dude.
Okay, you got anything you need to say?
No, I did want to say shout out a guest of our podcast and a friend of ours. I'm not going to say his name, but he hit me last week with a product question, and he was in the hospital and not doing so hot. So I just wanted to show some love to him. You know who you are. And he did say he looked into ordering us an edible arrangement, and there's nowhere nearby that would deliver. So
of course they did. From the hospital?
Yeah, he was hitting me asking about questions and said this. So just wanted to shout you out, bro. Obviously, you know who you are. I don't need to say your name. But I hope you're feeling well. And thanks for thinking of us, at least with the edible arrangement. That goes just as far as delivering it. So
yeah. You're on here just seeing what you can get delivered.
Omaha Steaks.
You use the podcast as a DoorDash.
Yeah. Oh, no. Another person I wanted to shout out. Spike, my boy, who has sent us snacks and shit before. He sent me a couple of those. He sent me some take and bake baked goods from Porto's in Los Angeles.
You also know if it comes to Chase, he ain't sharing for shit, just by the way.
Hey, I still got some of them. Don't worry about it. Hey, Vic did his time.
Hey, do we know? Hey, Cole, he told you where any of this is?
It's at my
house.
It
ain't here, yeah.
We got oven here.
He's a beaver.
I live in a dam, bro. Yeah. You come in my house, there's a bunch of logs.
Yeah.
So that's like Michelle's like that's where he goes, dude. Yeah. He just goes in there. So, but no, I'll bring some of those for you guys. I still got plenty of them.
I don't care if you do or don't. I just am pointing out that if you're sending something that's for the podcast, it's exclusively to Chase.
Well, and if we had an oven in here, we would have baked them all right up. So.
He's lying. You would have still taken half of them home.
Oh, you guys don't want any more of these?
Yeah.
So.
I think that was everything they had.
Oh, I don't know.
Those are just duplicates.
I talk fast. Yeah.
All right. Let's get out of here.
All right. It's been a fun one.
Yeah. Do the thing. If you haven't on Patreon, we just released Patreon episodes. Another one will come out soon. YouTube, bunch of new videos over there that you and I did. So if you like our bullshit or came in this way, but you don't check out the YouTube, there's us doing that. Slow video just came out, kind of walking through all the different fits and stuff.
Yeah.
I think there's another one coming out soon. That's us too doing layers or whatever.
I think it's
already out.
Came out.
Well, whatever.
I can't remember.
There's stuff going on over there.
Yeah.
A lot of new drops too. Just to be clear, I don't think we call that all of them out, but there's a bunch of like sneaker drops and stuff happening in the next handful of weeks.
Some Asics, a couple Hokas.
Yeah. Stuff going on.
So keep your eyes peeled on that. Yeah, man. Nothing really else to report. Got a lot of shit coming in. So if you need me, bang my line. Chase at Shop Canoe Club. If you want to invite to the Discord, bang my line. Chase at Shop Canoe Club. Other than that, go show some love and be in touch with anything.
Cool.
Peace.
Bye.